During the charging documents, the judge declared no combination of conditions could protect the public from the danger posed by James Weems Jr. Dressed in an orange prison jumpsuit, 57-year-old James Weems Jr. used a walker to enter his closed-circuit TV bail review. Weems is recovering from a gunshot wound after his wife allegedly shot him inside a D.C. hotel room after confronting him about abusing children at the daycare she owns. He sat with his head in his hands, sighing loudly as the prosecution discussed the case against him.
These are very, very serious offenses. It's why we are asking that Mr. Weems be held without bail.
Weems is charged with sexually abusing 3 children at the Kids Castle daycare in Owings Mills. The victims are a 12-year-old girl, a 10-year-old girl, and a 7-year-old boy. Investigators say Weems asked the girls to take explicit photos of themselves. He's accused of showing porn to one victim and teaching her where to find it on the internet. The girls told police they sat near Mr. James on the bus to be his door openers. The victims explained the incidents took place on the bus and at a playground on daycare property.
We believe that Mr. Weems was a risk to public safety, a risk to the children that were named in the complaint, as well as others.
According to police charging documents, a 10-year-old girl told authorities Mr. James, the owner's husband, touched her in a very inappropriate way 2 times. She explained that Mr. James was the only person who was nice to her, and he gave her snacks. She said Mr. James told her not to tell anybody. The 7-year-old boy told authorities a male employee said he would get into trouble if he told anyone who touched him.
This is Shanteri Weems, 50-year-old former Baltimore daycare owner. She was last month, February the 3rd, sentenced to 48 months in prison. She got a phone call July the 21st of 2022 from some concerned parents of her 93 client, Little Kids Castle daycare located in Baltimore. These parents told her husband, who also operated the daycare as you can see, the van or bus driver, was having inappropriate relations with children. She then drives from Baltimore to D.C. to the hotel where her retired police officer and correctional officer husband was staying for another job he was working. Went into the hotel room with intentions of harming herself and definitely harming her husband. Well, we don't know if it was intentional or not. She says it's not, but we'll listen to her in a minute. She shot him in the neck and shot him in the leg, then barricaded herself in the room with her bleeding husband for 25 minutes until they busted in and arrested her. I'm TstreeT Controversy. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Wild story of vigilante justice, and a lot of parents, including myself, are going to say, hey, she ain't do nothing wrong. But in this society and in this world that we live in, they had to give her time. I don't feel that a chomo's sexual preference can be changed. You can't tell a gay person to not be gay no more. We already know that doesn't work. It works the same way for chomos.
Hi, how are you? Bruce LeShan.
The judge says Shanteri Weems took the law into her own hands. But she says she snapped, and some supporters see her as a kind of avenging angel, seeking justice for horrible crimes against children.
I was emotional.
Her backers were stunned last month when a judge slapped the 50-year-old with a 4-year sentence, twice what even prosecutors recommended in a plea deal.
Despite my surroundings, I'm doing okay. I have a lot of supporters and people who uplift me and help me survive.
Prosecutors have charged her husband, James Weems, with 33 counts of rape and child sex crimes. He's awaiting trial, and his lawyer is declining to comment.
Don't let them sweep this under the rug. The man is still alive. And
right from the start, the internet was filled with support for Weems under the hashtag #FreeShanteri. She shot her husband, a retired cop, twice in his room at what was then D.C.'s Mandarin Oriental Hotel, where he was staying while providing security at the Urban League convention.
Here's where things get dicey for her, because they say that the police told her days before that they were investigating her husband. And you can only imagine the calls that she was getting from parents. And basically, she's saying that she snapped out. She blacked out. But the judge is saying that it was intentional because it's like, well, we told you days before that, we were investigating him.
Providing security at the Urban League convention. The judge said her attack on her husband was premeditated, not spontaneous, that police had told her days earlier that they were investigating him, and they'd shut down her little kid's castle in Baltimore County while they looked into the allegations of child sexual abuse.
The only person I had to find out information from was my husband. And he kept saying he didn't do it.
And you believed him?
I did believe him.
But then, she says, the mother of one of the children, a child she'd loved and cared for years, said they had to talk.
I saw the pain in her face, and I knew that she was not lying. She finally said it was my husband.
You think about that child all the time?
All the time. I think about all the children all the time.
You felt this complete betrayal of trust?
I was totally broken. I felt like the blood had just drained out of my body because, again, this is my husband. I trusted him fully. He was supposed to help me protect these children. He always told me he was my protector. So when I heard this, I just felt like my world had just ended.
Crazy. I always go by the saying that I would rather be guilty in the court of, I'd rather be guilty in the court of law than the court of public opinion. Because right now, everyone's on her side. However you slice it, it was attempted murder. Getting 48 months is like, it's I can understand how people say, include myself, like how she shouldn't get any time, but let's be realistic. She wasn't just going to just walk free. Personally, a year, 2 years, I think would have been enough, especially the fact that she saved other children from potential abuse. And she lost her business and her husband. Her world is shattered. This man did a lot of damage. Now, as far as he's concerned, he's screwed. He's probably never going to get out of jail. In fact, let's go look at the charges that he's being hit with. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Take your time out. Like the video.
Could you bring yourself to pull the trigger on your own husband?
I snapped. I'm not a violent person.
The first shot was in the neck.
Yes.
And then you shot him in the leg.
Yes.
So you had to think about it between those two shots, right?
No.
You didn't think about it?
No.
When you're that mad, and I can't imagine getting some news like that, and you're right there in front of the person who's not only a child abuser, but also destroyed your life, marriage, everything, kept those secrets from you, and then like what he did to those kids, you might not be in your right mind.
Of this issue, he suggested that you were out to intentionally maim and cause long-term pain to your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you meant to do?
No.
You thought about killing yourself?
I did. I feel I let my family down. I feel I let my families, those kids down. I do. I think I just trusted
By not finishing them off.
You said at the hearing that you were sorry.
I regret it.
Would you go so far as to apologize to your husband?
I would apologize to him when he apologized to those children.
Weems filed for divorce late last month. She has been cooperating with investigators who have charged her husband with molesting 4 different children, boys and girls, 9, 10, and 11 years old.
I think about all the children all the time.
And she hopes when she gets out of prison in about 4 years to start a nonprofit to fight child abuse.
And here is the latest update that I can find on James Weems. He's still waiting to go to court. He's been indicted. Here's what we have so far.
New details in the case of the former Baltimore City police detective shot by his wife in D.C. WJZ has learned a grand jury indicted James Weems on more than 20 criminal charges. You may remember Weems is accused of sexually abusing children at his wife's daycare in Owings Mills. Investigators say Shantiri Weems shot him over the allegations back in July. Mr. Weems' charges stem from the alleged abuse of 2 separate victims.
And thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'll be following this story to see what's going to happen when he's convicted. I'm interested to see how many years he's going to get compared to hers. Personally, I don't think he should ever be able to get out. I don't feel you can rehabilitate someone's sexual preference. And with how bold and brazen he was, he'll just do it again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.